Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. We're finally back with the Flash for the last 5 episodes now, 4 more after this one. And I'm here to talk about episode 9 of season 9, entitled It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want to. It's my party and I'll die if I want to. Die if I want to. You would die too if it happened to you. I know it's Cry in the song, but... And upon hearing that title, I'm like, knowing what this episode is about, really, I was just like, why is it that name? Shouldn't it be something about Save the Multiverse or something? Well, what I didn't know, all the other stuff that's come about this episode, which is probably the most anticipated episode, and the dicks at CW put a 2-week fucking break before it. Cock blockers, you. It's like, oh, this is an episode everyone wants to see, so let's make them wait 2 weeks. Now, it would have been worse if they just put all 3 break weeks there. That would have been like, you know. So, they're celebrating Barry's 30th birthday. I know what you're saying, wait a minute, Grant Gustin's older than 30. Yes, but if you remember in a previous episode in the previous season, I think it was last season in the filler episode where Barry gets old, but not really because they couldn't afford makeup to make him look old. When it was reversed, he was made 29. So now he is turning 30 again. So they're celebrating it, and everyone seems to be there. It's, Iris, Chester, Allegra, Cecile. Keone's getting the cake. Wally, Kramer, Singh, Dig, they're all there celebrating what have you until something bad happens and it's return of our old friend Ramsey Rosso, aka Bloodwork. Now, for those of you wondering, if you're not watching the episode, you just wonder from me, does this connect to the comic book that crossover that came out last year? No, it does not. I know the events of that. They were supposed to set it up with Tanya Wazo going to train with Cisco. It was supposed to be a scene that was deleted from last season, and they never used it. And then they only had 13 episodes this season. Eric Wallace wanted to do a lot this season and couldn't do it. He wanted to explore what was going on with the guy whoever took Chester's hacked Chester's computer. That's probably not going to be resolved. He wanted to resolve the cliffhanger to Legends. Yes. And he wanted to, what I said with the thing. It even said in the comic will be to be continued in Flash season 9. So I think this was as close as you're going to get to a conclusion. But even though Ramsey says in this he plays the long game, it's never explicitly stated that if he is the 2049 Ramsey like in the comic. I don't know. But it also never explains how he got out, although there was that little piece from when he gave to whoever it was the last time we saw him. So it was the Mirror Master, right? There's a little piece left out. Maybe that's it. I don't know. It took 2 years for that to come in. That was the beginning of season 7, so 2 years. But yes, so they're having, the birthday party. Everyone's there. Diggle, I should say, gives Barry a present. It's Oliver's bow, and he's like, "Oh, I can't accept it. We'll just hang it in the, hang it up." He's in his own little world. He's outside, And then Wally also explains that he has been, communing with himself to try to bridge into the multiverse, which I guess he doesn't say in front of Barry because, he mentions it and then they don't go, wait a minute, there's no multiverse, but whoever he's talking to about it. We also get a scene where Chester gives Allegra a new pendant, which gets destroyed later in the episode, but it's supposed to give her a new suit, which I think we know from set photos of the finale that she does have it. So he must fix it at some point, right? And this scene goes on for a little bit, and I'm sitting there going, come on, can we go back to the party already? It immediately cuts to the party with Kramer and I think Cecile singing If You Want to Be My Lover by the Spice Girls. I'm like, okay, never mind. I changed my mind. Go back to Chester and Allegra. Go back. Please. I beg of you. Go back. It was funny. And then they have a toast with the champagne, and that's when it all goes to shit. Because it turns out Ramsay has spiked the champagne and Iris' sparkling cider with his lifeblood. And he's there because he wants to get inside Wally's head so he can control Wally, so he can get into the multiverse and control all the Earths there. This is where we get flashbacks to Wally's life, much like sort of stuff that he did with Barry in the Last Temptation of Barry Allen 2-parter in season 6, where, you know, he's messing with him, he's showing bad parts of his life, and eventually he caves in and joins him. Barry is not affected, but he has that conversation with Ramsay, and it's weird. There's a weird thing. I don't know what they were trying to do here, but there's a point where they're talking in this room with this red lighting, and he goes, "I'm sorry, can we get some different lighting or a grip, please?" And then it just spreads into like it's a TV set, and Barry is forced to read like a message to the kids or something. I'm just like, what is going on? It's like breaking the fourth wall, but not really. And then that's when he comes back and it's revealed that Wally is under control. And then Wally kills Barry. Yes. Before we get into what happens after that, I should mention that Chester is the only other person. And it turns out also Iris, because the baby inside the womb, I can't think of her name, Nora. The Nora baby inside the womb is giving Iris the powers, the speed healing power, so it's stopping her from being fully controlled by the lifeblood. And, you know, Chester doesn't drink, so he's not affected. He was hiding under the table the whole time, which is smart. But he gets found out, so he goes to hide. Somehow, lifeblood control, Allegra comes in, and that's where she smashes the thing. And we get this whole, she love you. But Keon comes to save the day, right? She's able to use her ice powers that she now has. Now, I know it's been a couple weeks, but did we ever expand on how to use her powers? Or she just, has full control of it now? I don't remember, the last 3 episodes sucked. So, if there was anything to develop those powers, I missed it. I mean, the last one was fine, I guess, but the first filler sucked. The second one was a little bit better, but the last one was even better still, but this one is probably the best filler. But if all fillers were like this one, I think people would have less complaints, because this was actually pretty good, in my opinion. But Barry wakes up after getting killed, that's right, on Lian Yu. Yes. And who is standing there but Oliver Queen, the Spectre, Green Arrow, whatever you want to call him. He's standing there, and he says that the multiverse is in danger, and so he has to act. But he can't send Barry back yet, because Barry doesn't know, he wants to go back. Basically, we only got so much time, we got to fill up a little bit, so let's talk. I'm like, really? We're gonna have a conversation right now. Multiverse is in danger. No, you have to tell me about how you're feeling right now, Barry. Multiverse is in danger, but just tell me how you're feeling. Look, kick ass now, talk later. Okay, I understand what he's trying to say here, but, let's do this. But, no. They talk, and once Barry gets over the problems that he's having because he thinks that he shouldn't, all the people have died and that he survived, and it's not, and you know, and like he points out to Oliver, you had to save everyone. Everyone you loved is still alive. He goes, not everyone. And that's when it clicked in my head when they showed up. His dad's not alive. And I think I remember back when the finale happened, I mentioned his dad wasn't alive. I didn't know why. And he explains it. If he brought his dad back, there'd be too much messed. Because if he brings his dad back, he doesn't turn a leaf. Dad doesn't die. None of this stuff ever happened. That's probably what they call in Doctor Who a fixed point. Yeah, it's a fixed point in Legends too. It's a fixed point. You cannot change that. That is a fixed point. You change that, boom, everything goes boom, boom. Because if that doesn't happen, Oliver doesn't end up becoming the Green Arrow, and in turn doesn't end up becoming the Spectre, and Earth dies in crisis. Yes, he also doesn't end up inspiring the Flash or other heroes as well. So, yeah, that one little moment, the entire thing. So, yes, I never thought of that, why his dad wasn't back. And now they've explained it. I get it. I get it. I do. Yes, and so they take off. He's able to come back with him because he's able to intervene if the multiverse is in trouble. Everyone else is still in control, though. So they go out to kick butt, and they, Barry and Negative Wally or whatever, or Dark Wally, whatever, kind of fight it out. And so it's left to Oliver, Ramsey. Ramsey sends a bunch of Blood Brother controlled or Life Bloody controlled Blood Brothers after him. He takes down, you get the arrow theme, dun, 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 sort of thing. Meanwhile, Khione uses her powers to free people, starting with Diggle. And they say, the Flash needs your help. And I'm like, he ain't the only one. He ain't the only one. And so we cut to Ramsey's like, okay, he's going to change. Like, he's confronting Oliver, and he's going to change into the monster. Then he gets, boom, blasted with a bazooka. And Diggle's behind him, and he's just like, Oliver? He's like, I can explain. He goes, I'll need you to. Gives him a hug, basically. Yeah. It's a little emotional. This is a goodbye, we needed for Oliver. And you get to say goodbye to some people. There is something that they talk about later that is confusing to me. We'll get to it. But, no. So, Barry eventually convinces Wally to break the spell, and he does, so we get a showdown. They lasso Ramsey, and who's now in monster form, by the way. And then Oliver shoots this light, shining green arrow. He does, I should mention that Ramsey does send Lifeblood to the multiverse, but apparently it takes a little while to work, I guess. But they turn him human again. And it also cures his ALS, or whatever he had. His disease that he had. So, that wasn't ALS, it was something else. It cures that. But now he's going to spend the rest of his life in Argus. So, there's that. Everyone has turned back to normal. I don't know if Khione does it or if it's... Because they show it after Ramsey is taken care of. So, I don't know if Khione did it or if it just wore off because Ramsey is human. Probably a bit of both, I guess. And, she's like, what about Allegra? She's fine. Although she need a new thing now, but, Then everybody's back at Barry's birthday party. And no one seems to bat an eye that Oliver's there. They just, they're happy days there, but no one ever... We're going to talk about something. So we have some kind of goodbyes here. Oliver and Diggle have a conversation where it's revealed, which, again, why didn't I think of this? Much like with his dad not being alive again. Why didn't I think of this? Oliver reveals he's the one who sent the Green Lantern box, which they just say like the cube. And he said he sent it as a test to see if he would take it or if he would do the right thing and be with his family, which I'm like, oh, they're trying to justify the decision not to take it because everybody got pissed. He should be grounded. He should be grounded. Why tease if you're not going to do it? And then so they're having, Oliver sent it to test him to see if he'll stay. So it's okay. You can like it now. I don't know how that's going to go over, but, And that kind of ends the episode, really. I should mention earlier on there was a sort of a pissing contest between Singh and Kramer. They asked Barry which one was the better captain. He's like, you both have your own good things, sort of thing. Just kind of scraping it off, sort of thing. And Wally has a conversation with Iris about he has to stay away from the multiverse, but he's going to look inside himself, sort of thing. They have a brother and sister bonding. Joe. Those of you might be wondering, why wasn't Joe at this party? Well, given what goes down, it's a good thing he wasn't. But the correct answer is Jesse L. Martin is filming another show at the time. So even though, it would make sense and it wouldn't at the same time for Joe to be there, because with what his story is, trying to keep the other kid, I forget her name, Jenna, trying to keep Jenna safe. Can't call her baby Jenna anymore. She's like 5. Trying to keep Jenna safe out in the country. It makes sense he wasn't there. But they could have had, since you'll have a phone message from Barry, I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday, sort of thing. But yeah. Okay, post-credit teaser doesn't really tease anything. It's a conversation with Barry and Oliver at O'Shaughnessy's. And I'm sitting here going, no one knows that the dead guy who's supposed to be dead is sitting right there. Nobody's saying, hey, you're Oliver Queen. You're supposed to be dead. No. A bar full of people. No one's saying, hey, isn't that guy supposed to be dead? No one. Okay. But they basically have a conversation about, one another's worth and stuff. And about how, Barry's like, I'm glad that I went to Star City, or Starling City, whatever. It was Star City at the time. Star City took a 2-week, excursion over there. This was a conversation before, when, before the stinger, Diggle asked him, have you seen her yet? Talking about the, Felicity and the kids. And he's like, well, I have this deal. I can't see her yet. And I'm like, wait, time is not linear where he is. So technically, we saw at the end of Arrow, the series finale of Arrow, that she went there. It's the 2049, but still, time is not fluid in wherever he is. Technically, they should be together, right? I guess. Maybe since he's in 2023, technically it hasn't happened yet, so he can't see them. But he'll just go back and he'll see Felicity anyway, right? Am I correct at this? I don't know, I'm confused. Anyway, basically, this post-credit thing is a conversation between Barry and Oliver. Barry's like, hey, or Oliver's like, hey, you pay for this, right? He's like, dude, you're a billionaire. He's like, can't bring anything with me, basically. And then he's like, that lightning bolt shows you for a reason, which is what he said in the first episode. I know, because my son and I are rewatching them again. I know, I just rewatched them to review them before this final season. I'm rewatching them with my son, so, Crossovers are going to be difficult, because he's not going to understand stuff like Legends or Supergirl, or even some of the Arrow stuff, but, I'll explain it to him. And then Oliver's gone, and then Barry leaves, and it focuses on the glasses. No teaser for next week, except for the trailer, which was very confusing, but nothing. Eric Wallace, can you give us some sort of a cliffhanger? Because I felt like Ramsey just showing up in this. We needed some sort of tease. There's no explanation as to how he got all. He says, I played the long game. And, I'm assuming since they said there's not two Ramses, that he is from this time, there's no explanation. A little, cliffhanger at the end of the last episode showing he escaped would have worked, and then if we just go into next week and something happens, and okay, a little cliffhanger could have helped. Something, And I bet most people who don't know, don't keep up with, the stuff behind the scenes like I do and some other people do, and just going by episode to episode, I'm wondering, hey, remember when they teased that blue crystal at the end of the season? How come we haven't gone back to that yet? Why save that? And I said this before, that should have been the focus of the entire 13 episodes. Fuck your stupid ass graphic novel format. Okay, yeah, 13 episodes. You could have done a nice, short, 13 episode season based around this blue crystal, building it up. You could add Red Death into it if you wanted to, And like I said this before, split it in half. 6 episodes with Red Death, 7 episodes with the other one, and just do it that way. But the fact that you teased the blue crystal at the end of season 8 and haven't done a damn thing until the last 4 episodes, I don't know. It's head shaking to me. It's just like, why tease it there if you're not going to do anything till the end of the series? Why wait? Why tease it? It's just confusing. But this episode was good. I'll go out to say this was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Yeah. So we're in the final stretch now. 4 episodes left. I'm assuming they're going to be good ones because this is what they saved all their money for. There was a chase scene with Wally and Barry in this one that the CGI reminded me of season 1. Then again, I know what that looks like. I remember what it looks like because I'm watching it with my son right now. So it reminded me of that. Yes, I don't know. I'm sitting there telling my son, the CGI gets better. And then in the final season, we got the same kind of CGI. It looks weird. I don't know. But, yeah. So, thank you for watching. What are your thoughts on season 9, episode 9 of The Flash? Leave a comment below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.